Admiral Zexthera clicked his mandibles in amusement as the tactical display showed the approaching human vessel. The bridge of his flagship, Dominion's Edge, buzzed with similar sounds of mirth from his crew. After 3 cycles of brutal war, the humans had finally sent their response to the hegemony's ultimatum: surrender unconditionally or face total annihilation. Their response was a single ship. "Magnify the target," Zexthera commanded, his 4 eyes gleaming with predatory satisfaction. The main screen shifted, revealing what appeared to be a crude cylinder of dark metal, roughly 2 kilometers in length. No elegant curves like hegemony vessels, no ornate weapon arrays, no intimidating spires. It looked more like an industrial transport than a warship. "That's their flagship?" Commander Yildash, his second in command, couldn't suppress a chittering laugh. "The humans must have finally cracked under the pressure of our siege." The bridge erupted in clicking and chirping, the hegemony equivalent of laughter. Zexthera had good reason to be confident. Surrounding him were 300 of the finest vessels in the hegemony fleet, dreadnoughts whose plasma cannons could crack moons, destroyers faster than light itself, and carriers filled with swarms of fighters. The combined firepower could reduce a planet to asteroid debris. "Communications, open a channel to all vessels," Zexthera ordered. "Let the humans hear this." When the connection was established, he leaned forward in his command throne. "This is Admiral Zexthera of the Hegemony Third Fleet. I congratulate the humans on their creative interpretation of military tactics. Sending 1 ship against 300 shows either remarkable courage or complete insanity." The human vessel maintained its steady approach, now only 50,000 kilometers away. Still no response. "Perhaps their communication systems are as primitive as their ship design," Yildash suggested, earning another round of clicking laughter. Zexthera's amusement faded slightly as his sensors officer, a young Veltari named Kixara, looked up from her station with confusion written across her features. "Admiral, I'm reading some unusual energy signatures from the human vessel." "Unusual how?" "The power output is inconsistent with its size. And there's something else." She manipulated her controls, frowning at the readouts. "The ship's mass seems to be fluctuating." Before Zexthera could respond, a new voice filled the bridge, calm, measured, and distinctly human. "Admiral Zexthera, this is Captain Sarah Chen of the Earth Defense Force vessel Prometheus. We received your ultimatum." Finally, Zexthera straightened in his throne. "Captain Chen, I trust you've come to discuss terms of surrender. Though I must say, your choice of vessel suggests Earth's remaining industrial capacity is limited." "Actually, Admiral, we've come to deliver a message of our own." Something in the human's tone made Zexthera's mandibles twitch uncomfortably. "And what message is that?" "That you've made a fundamental error in understanding what humans do when faced with extinction." The Prometheus suddenly stopped, holding position exactly 40,000 kilometers from the hegemony fleet. At this distance, Zexthera noted, it was perfectly centered among his formation. "An error?" Zexthera's voice carried a dangerous edge. "The only error would be your failure to surrender immediately. You face 300 warships with a single outdated—" "Admiral!" Kixara's voice cut through his words, sharp with alarm. "The energy readings are spiking. Something is happening inside that ship." On the tactical display, the Prometheus began to change. What had appeared to be a simple cylinder was unfolding, revealing internal structures that defied comprehension. Geometric patterns emerged along its hull, pulsing with energy that registered on sensors as something beyond conventional physics. "What in the void?" Yildash began. Captain Chen's voice continued, unperturbed by the chaos erupting on hegemony. "Bridges across the fleet. You see, Admiral, when humans are pushed to the brink of extinction, we don't just fight back. We evolve. We adapt. We become something new." The patterns on the Prometheus reached a crescendo of activity. Space itself seemed to bend around the vessel, creating distortions that hurt to look at directly. "For the past 3 years, while you've been slowly conquering our colonies, our best minds have been working on a single project. Not bigger guns, not more ships, but a fundamental rethinking of what warfare means in the age of extinction. Zexathara was shouting orders now, his command composure shattered. All ships, open fire. Destroy that vessel before... You called the ship crude, Admiral. You're right. It has only one weapon. Chen's voice carried a terrible finality. But sometimes one is enough. The Prometheus fired. It wasn't a beam, or a projectile, or plasma. It was something that existed in the spaces between physics, a weapon that ignored conventional defenses because it attacked the fundamental forces holding matter together. The effect spread outward in a perfect sphere, moving at speeds that shouldn't have been possible. When it touched the first hegemony vessels, they simply stopped. Not destroyed, not vaporized, but ceased to exist as organized matter. The wave continued expanding, consuming dreadnoughts and fighters alike with impartial efficiency. In the space of 17 seconds, 300 warships became expanding clouds of constituent atoms. Only the Dominion's edge remained, held, in place by some mercy subroutine in the weapons programming, close enough to witness but far enough to survive. Zexathara found himself alone on a bridge filled with the acrid smell of fear sweat from his surviving crew. Every tactical screen showed the same thing, empty space where his fleet had been moments before. Captain Chen's voice returned, gentle now, almost compassionate. Admiral, you're going to return to hegemony space. You're going to tell them what happened here, and you're going to explain that Earth has 117 more ships just like this one. That last part was a lie, but Zexathara would never know it. The Prometheus had taken every resource Earth possessed, the combined effort of a species with nothing left to lose. The war is over, Chen continued. Your people can choose peace, or they can choose to test whether we built enough ships to reach your homeworld. The Prometheus began folding back into its innocuous cylinder form. Within minutes, it looked once again like a simple transport vessel. But Zexathara would never see it that way again. As his crippled flagship limped back toward hegemony space, Admiral Zexathara began composing the most important message of his career, a complete and unconditional surrender. Behind him, the Prometheus turned toward home, where Captain Chen would report that bluffing was apparently a uniquely human talent. The war was over. Humanity had won with a single ship and a single shot. The hegemony would never laugh at human engineering again.